All your favorite wrestling shows rolled into one. Welcome to the WeBookIt Podcast. Let's start the show.
And yes, we are starting the damn show. Welcome in, everybody. I am your host, Virgil. This is your Who's Next with NXT review episode for January 20th. Guys, I'm so excited that you guys are here with me. I appreciate each and every last one of you. Hope that you guys had an awesome Tuesday. I know it's a short week for a lot of people that work because we had MLK Day off yesterday. Never forget, Martin Luther King did for us here in this country. Salute, salute, salute. Now, with that being said, guys, listen, the January 20th episode of NXT, we're going to have Elio LaFleur versus Ethan Page for the North American Championship. We got Eli Knight versus Sean Legacy. We got Josh Briggs versus Shiloh Hill and Ren QCC versus Zakura versus Fatal Influence to see who will be in line for the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championships next. So, first off, we're going to open up the show with Ethan Page versus Elio LaFleur. After a video package to hype the show, Ava was shown telling security to keep an eye out for Tony D'Angelo. This will be the running story throughout the night, folks. We're going to be looking out for Antonio D'Angelo. So, the first match of the night saw LaFleur make his NXT debut by challenging Ethan Page for the Men's North American Championship. Earlier on today on WWE Twitter, as well as all different WWE social media accounts, we saw Shawn Michaels talk to LaFleur, letting him know that he was throwing him right into the fire. What does that mean? He gets a North American Championship match against Ethan Page. All ego, well, I definitely wanted to show that he was in charge. So the French luchador showed his speed and agility early by taking Page down with a couple of unique moves, but all ego settled in and stopped him in his tracks with a backbreaker across the top turnbuckle, followed by a big boot to send him to the floor. Now, while we would prefer title matches to serve as main events, WWE was actually smart to open the show with this bout because it brought the energy to the show immediately. LaFleur looked great in his debut match, and Page was a perfect choice as a veteran who could help bring him into the fold. This kid is only 26 years old, so he's just scratching the surface of what he's going to be capable of doing in his career. Now, they made this a competitive fight and felt like it could go either way. All Ego was able to retain thanks to holding a handful of tights during a roll-up, but LaFleur had him reeling throughout the match. It would not surprise me at all if WWE kept this feud going. So All Ego wins with a roll-up, a victory roll-up, holding on to the tights to retain his North American Championship. There was also a moment where Ethan Page was celebrating on the ramp, and out comes absolute Ricky Saints, who then looks at him and says, "Can you believe this? Look at us. We're the ones carrying this whole brand now." Interesting. Very interesting. You guys remember that NXT title is going to be on the line in a ladder match. Those two men will be featured in that match, I'm sure. Couple of notes here. Tony D has is so much more intimidating with a beard for some reason. He looks kind of like Mojo Rawley, though. He looks like Mojo Rawley's little brother. I don't know if you guys have peeped that or not yet, but that's what he looks like to me. Maybe I'm tripping. I don't know. You guys tell me. So next up, we go Josh Briggs versus Shiloh Hill. So two flannel-loving men did battle this week when Hill took on Briggs in a qualifying match for the upcoming six-man ladder match for the NXT Championship. They fought for control until Briggs took the upper hand with some clubbing blows to the back. He had the size advantage, so Hill was unable to go punch for punch with him. They battled through a commercial break and swapped control a few times, but Briggs definitely had the upper hand more often than not. This is one of those matches that didn't have any bad moments or spots, but it also didn't have anything to make it stand out. It was just your typical wrestling match between two big guys. It looked like Briggs was going to win with a big choke slam, but Hill kicked out at the last second. Newcomer was able to hit a neck breaker to score the win, and as soon as the match was over, none other than Tony D showed up and laid out both men. Um, Ricky Saints was on commentary for this match, and there was an awkward moment on the commentary where it seemed like Vic Joseph was expecting Ricky Saints to say something, but there was just silence. Um, like I said, Saints had the same color scheme as the classic Aquaman with his clothes, which was really, really weird. But, it is what it is. Al Absolute can do whatever he wants. He is the man on NXT, if you ask me. Swipe Right versus Chase U is your next match. The next match was a tag team bout with Brad Baylor and Ricky Smokes taking on Uriah Connors and Cale Dixon. While not their first appearance, this was the Vanity Project's first official match since being officially signed to NXT, so there was a lot of pressure on them to perform. All four of these guys are very young and very hungry, so this was an energetic match with a quick pace and some risky spots. Dixon and Baylor were the standouts with their performances, but all four guys did some good work in the ring too. Swipe Right was able to score the victory over Chase U after the match. Ava was shown backstage saying she called the cops on Tony D. That's right, y'all. Tony D'Angelo is looking like he is going to jail. Guess who's going to jail tonight? If he shows his face again, which, spoiler alert, he does. Next up, we're going to hear from Jada Parker, who is officially back. So Keanu Carver from LFG was forced to do a backstage interview, but he walked off before answering any questions. It would have been hilarious if he just said, "I'm here so I don't get fired." That's hilarious. Up next was Jada Parker coming to the ring to give a promo. The crowd cheered her heavily during her entrance, and you could tell the love from the fans got to her a bit. She talked about returning from injury and needing to let her hard work speak for itself. She spoke with the emotion and enthusiasm about wanting to prove her doubters wrong while continuing to be true to herself. The lights dropped, and none other than the beautiful, the magnificent, the gorgeous Blake Monroe interrupted from the crow's nest. They talked some trash to each other, but they didn't exactly resolve their conflict. Parker's promo was strong and probably the best she had delivered since coming to NXT. Her feud with Monroe could be a lot of fun if booked properly. These two women are definitely going to be going at it. All right, next up, we're going Shawn Legacy versus Eli Knight. Really weird, isn't it? Legacy and Knight have both officially moved over from Evolve to NXT, and they were thrown right into the fire with a qualifying match to be in the upcoming ladder match for the NXT Championship. You could tell there was mutual respect between these competitors, and they even look like tag team partners due to having similar colors on their gear. Much like Chase U and Swipe Right, these are young performers who are looking to make a big impression early in their run. So Legacy and Knight both put in some hard work to make this match entertaining, which they succeeded in that. Both men hit some big spots from the top rope that had the crowd chanting, "This is awesome." And then, of course, Knight went to the well one too many times, and Legacy took advantage with a twisting suplex for the win. Once again, Tony D showed up and took out both competitors once the match was over. Ava came out with some fake cops who had no badges, but Tony allowed himself to be handcuffed. He did not fight at all. So we'll see what happens with that. Saints was back on commentary for this match again. So I'm guessing Ricky Saints is just going to be out there for any ladder match. Any qualifying matches for that ladder match. Last but not least, we got the main event of the night: Ren QCC versus Fatal Influence versus Za Ruka to decide who is going to fight for the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championships. So this week's main event was a three-way tag match with Ren Sinclair and Kendall Gray versus Zarya and Sol Ruka versus Fallon Henley and Laney Reed. The winners would earn a shot at the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championships. So Ruka and Gray and Reed started with an exchange of pinning combinations, but nobody could get the 3 count. Zarya tagged in and immediately clotheslined both opponents. This match had a lot of moving parts that led to some sloppy moments, but the majority of the action was good. Ruka and Gray were the standouts, but all 6 women were solid work. JC Jane got involved and took out Gray at ringside. Zarya and Ruka were able to get the victory, but not without a little friction along the way. They keep teasing us, don't they? They just keep teasing us. They keep teasing that these two are going to turn on each other. So earlier in the show, Rosario and Ruka had a tense moment backstage. They seem to be teasing a breakup again. So I believe it is going to eventually happen. I thought it should have already happened already. This was a pretty eventful show. Probably the biggest moment in the show was either Ricky Saints coming out and doing his best on commentary. And then, of course, Tony D being arrested, as well as the first match where All Ego Ethan Page was able to take advantage and win and retain his North American Championship. So listen, y'all, this is nothing short of amazing. Hope you guys have enjoyed this episode of Who's Next in NXT. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe so that you never miss any of the action over here on the WeBookIt Network. Guys, stay tuned. Friday night, we got the Friday Night SmackDown, Lowdown, Hold Down, Mow Down, Toe Down, Woe Down, Whoa Now, Flip It Around, Break It Down, Smack It Down. And then, of course, we also have on through Saturday night, Big Daddy C's All Elite Wrap-Up of the week that includes Collision as well as Dynamite. And then, of course, Sunday night, we got the big, huge pod with all the fellas, all the personalities that you love coming at you. Appreciate you guys. Until next time, keep those booking pencils sharp and keep on booking.